Hey folks, I'm Dennis. If you've seen these rustic quilt ladders that people like to use to decorate their homes, I'm going to show you how to make one today. I've got some pallet lumber. That's a pretty simple thing to make. They make great gifts or great for decorating your own home. So thanks for watching my video, appreciate it, and let's get started. Now anytime you're working with pallet wood or barn wood, any kind of rustic lumber, make sure that you wear some gloves. I've already worn a hole in that one, as you can see from working with this stuff, but make sure you wear some gloves because there's a lot of splinters. I'll show you how to remove a lot of those here in a minute, but the first thing you want to do is you want to get all the nails out, and then also in pallet wood you have to go through and inspect all the surfaces, because a lot of times there are staples that are put into the wood where the material that was on the original pallet was tagged. Generally though, you're going to have, at least in the pallet wood that I've used, generally you're going to have maybe 10 penny pallet nails which are grooved. Then you may have some staples. So I just try to straighten them out so that I can get them started backwards through the hole, and that way I can pull them with my hammer. Sometimes you'll get one like this that's just all twisted around, bent up, so you just got to kind of work it out, get it straight the best way you can. Sometimes I'll use a pair of pliers. A lot of times you can just do it with your claw hammer. If you got to get a lot of leverage on one, you can take another piece of wood and put it under your hammer. It gives you a little bit more leverage, like so. Then what I do is I just go along every surface and I look for staples or small nails. The reason you want to get all of them out is because you don't want to hit any of them with a saw blade. You have to make sure that you inspect it real closely, because some of these staples will rust and then they blend in with the wood. Before I run this through my saw, I want to clean it up a little bit because I want to make sure I've got all the dirt off of it. And the reason is because dirt is very rough on your saw blade. So I use a wire brush. You could also use a wire wheel like on a angle grinder, and I've done that before. For purposes of this video, I'm just going to use a manual brush, but you could do it either way. But you're just going to give it a good brushing to get most of the dirt off, and this will also help remove a lot of the splinters. So the pallet slats that I have, they measure 5 5/8 wide. They're 5 feet long. So the way I'm going to cut this, the height of my quilt ladder will be 5 feet. So at least to my eye, what makes it proportionally pleasing is to make the stringers and the rungs 1.5 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1.5 inches off of this edge and 1.5 inches off of this edge for my runners, my stringers. And the reason I do that is because that way I end up with both raw edges being able to be on the outside, and I can put the cut edge on the inside. And then I'll take 1.5 inches cut basically out of the middle for the runners, or the rungs. I'm just going to build mine straight, like a normal ladder, like so. And then I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to cut the rungs, like so. And then just brad them onto the front. Now what some people will do, and some people like this, it's kind of cute, is they will set the runners up in a kind of a trapezoidal pattern, triangular pattern, with the base of the legs wider than the top of the legs. And then you just have to decide where you want to put the rungs and cut them to the appropriate size. You got to decide, do you want them to hang out over the legs? Sometimes people want them to hang out past the legs so they can hang things on them. In this particular case, I'm just going to make a straight ladder pattern. I'm going to just keep the legs straight, and I'm going to put straight flush rungs across. But I'm not going to cut out any of the nail holes, things like that, because that adds character to it. I'm going to put 4 rungs going up the ladder, basically spaced at a foot apart. So I'll put a rung at a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, and that'll space it out just about right. So since this is 59 inches long, I'll cut each rung to 14 inches so I can take a little cut off each end. So I've taken my centerpiece out of the original board, and I've cut these to 14 inches long just because that's how wide I want my ladder to be. And then I'm going to take my 2 legs, which may or not be straight. Like you can see, these are not perfectly straight, and that's okay because it's meant to be rustic looking. I'm going to take my 2 legs and I'm going to put a rung at 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. So I'm just going to go through and mark them off. Pick which side I want to be the front and put it face down. And basically put your rungs in underneath. Also, when you're placing your rungs, some people will do it where they're flush on the end, maybe even inset just a little, or maybe sticking out a little bit. It just depends on what you like. If you you may prefer for them to stick out like this a little bit. You may prefer for them to be a little inset or just flush. I'm going to build mine with them flush. Stick them all up underneath here before I try to line them up. I've got a 16 gauge brad gun that I'm going to use. You can hand nail these, you can screw them together, whatever you've got available to you. And there you have it. A nice, simple, rustic quilt ladder that'll be solid enough for any kind of decorating anyway. So thanks for watching my video. I appreciate you checking it out, and please check out some of the other videos on my channel. Give me a like down below if you would, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support, and I hope to see you back soon. Thanks. God bless you.